You know, when you see those amazing pictures of ecologists out in these incredible, wild places, it's so easy to think, wow, what a dream job. But behind every one of those postcard moments, there's a really demanding, complex reality. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and find out what it really takes to be an ecologist.
I love this quote because, believe it or not, this is a real question ecologists get asked all the time, even by their own parents. You're in the mountains one day, the coast the next. Are you just getting paid to play around outside? It's a funny thought, right? But it perfectly sets up the biggest myth that we're going to bust today.
So let's get past that fantasy. What does the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty, the actual work of an ecologist really look like? Let's find out.
All right, first things first, let's tackle that big misconception head on. Is it all just fun and games?
So on the one hand, you have the myth, this super relaxing gig, basically a paid vacation in nature. But the reality? Oh, it is a whole different ballgame. It's an incredibly demanding scientific profession. I mean, in a place like Taiwan, for example, the whole profession has only really been a formal thing for about 20 years. It grew out of a serious need for environmental impact assessments. So it's a relatively new field, but one that requires absolute dedication and expertise. So what about the actual fieldwork? This is where that romantic fantasy really meets a tough, grueling reality. You know, a client might say something like, "Oh, so you're just going to survey the animals and plants?" And that sounds simple, but that question completely misses the enormous scale of the work. You can't just be a generalist here. No way. This job demands deep, deep specialization. And just to give you an idea of the sheer scale we're talking about, take Taiwan. It's a small island, right? But it's home to over 4,000 types of vascular plants, almost 700 species of birds, 400 butterflies, and that's literally just scratching the surface. There is no way a single person could know all of this. An expert on butterflies might know next to nothing about beetles. A plant specialist who knows every tree might not know the ferns. It's a world of hyper-specialization. This one really busts another big myth, the idea that all ecologists must just love camping. As one researcher said, after a totally exhausting day of hard physical labor, the absolute last thing you want is to sleep on the hard ground. Fieldwork is a job, a tough one, and when it's done, you're craving a soft bed, not a sleeping bag. And that fieldwork, it can be genuinely dangerous. Take this incredible story about a butterfly expedition to Lanyu Island in Taiwan. The first day, their plane had to turn back because of dangerously high winds. The second day, they try again, and the landing is so scary that the whole plane literally burst into applause when they finally touched down. Then, it took days of patient searching until day 6, when a volunteer finally caught a butterfly with Japanese writing on its wing. It had flown all the way from Japan. That moment, that's the thrill that makes it all worth it. But look, passion and grit, they aren't enough on their own. Not anymore. Modern ecology is a high-tech, high-stakes science. Yeah, if you're picturing someone with just a notebook and some binoculars, gotta update that image. Today's ecologists are using a whole arsenal of sophisticated technology. We're talking automatic infrared cameras that catch animals in the dead of night, thermal imators, ultrasonic detectors that can actually eavesdrop on bat conversations, and tiny little loggers to track bird migrations. This is a long, long way from a simple walk in the park. And that tech, it is not cheap. I mean, look at this. A single professional telephoto lens, a must-have tool for bird research, can run you over 400,000 new Taiwan dollars. That's about $12,500 US dollars for one lens. This isn't a hobby. This is a field that needs serious money to get serious results. And even with all the cool gadgets, you can't escape what some researchers call the grind. That's the long, slow, sometimes mind-numbingly tedious process of just collecting the data. Can you imagine sitting in a blind, watching a colony of bee eaters for 3 entire summers, 10+ hours a day, just to maybe see a few specific behaviors? The patience that takes is just immense, but it's the only way to get that really valuable data. So you're probably thinking, if the work is this hard, this expensive, this demanding, how does anything ever get done? Well, the answer is simple. It's not just one person. It's a community. Look, the professional scientists are absolutely essential. Their surveys are rigorous, standardized, and systematic. But as they'll be the first to tell you, they can't be everywhere all the time. They might only get to visit a site a few times a year. And that's where citizen scientists become, well, completely invaluable. These are passionate volunteers who are out there day in and day out. And if you want to see the kind of impact this collaboration can have, just look at this chart. At the Jinri Ecological Park, professional surveys had documented about 40 species of dragonflies. That's pretty good. But then, after the habitat was restored and local citizen scientists kept a relentless watch, that number jumped to over 60. They're the ones who spot the rare species that a pro on a tight schedule might have missed. It's an amazing partnership. So this is the why. This is what makes all the hardship, all the grind, totally worth it. It's that incredible, indescribable thrill of discovery, like finding that one butterfly that crossed an ocean. And it's the amazing power of seeing a whole community, from top scientists to local volunteers, all coming together for a single cause. So, after hearing all this, you might be wondering, how can I be a part of this? How do I move beyond just looking at the pretty pictures and actually discover my own role in this incredible community? Well, here are 3 simple, powerful ways you can start. First, just get informed. Learn about the conservation issues that are happening right in your own backyard. Second, visit with a purpose. Don't just be a tourist. Seek out responsible eco-tours, like the ones in Taiwan's Mainong district that support the local communities protecting nature. And third, amplify the work. Share what they're doing. Support the groups and citizen science projects that are on the front lines every day.
So the next time you see one of those stunning nature photos, maybe you'll see a little bit more. You'll see the science, the struggle, the technology, and the incredible community behind it. The key takeaway here is that there's this deep, fascinating world of real ecology waiting for you just beyond the picturesque. So the only question left is, how will you connect with it?